So we probably just got the most 10 out of 10 SAO episode you could ask for. Gun Gale Online Season 2 Episode 2 understood the assignment and just delivered great tactics, fantastic animation, and honestly, just brilliant. Episode 1 was a slower episode. It really was just creeping back into the driver's seat. But Episode 2 is just pedal to the metal. And I gotta be honest, the SEO hater in the title is just too good of clickbait to pass up, and probably is the only way these videos survive the algorithm. So if it annoys you, you're gonna have to deal with it, because it's the only way these videos are probably even gonna break 1,000 views on average. So we gotta do what we gotta do out here. Now, before we jump any further, I gotta mention we have full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my full and good thought to these episodes, it's gonna be over there exclusively. So I've been excited for this. Like I said last week with the return, the thing about Gun Gale is it's watching people play a video game that understands game design. And an episode like this kind of reinforces why I like Season 1 so much. I'm pretty sure, now granted, I haven't watched Season 1 since it aired, so I could be completely mistaken. But, you know, the idea that I'm pretty sure this is the first time they kind of have the Battle Royale map pushing in like this, which, basically, for those who don't know, in Battle Royale video games, rather than allowing people to just stay on any part of the map, it forces the players over time slowly to the center, because otherwise, you know, people would just camp out for hours on end and maybe never be found. So we have this match, which basically does it, but with water. So the water rises, and it pushes everyone towards essentially what is going to be the black box. Now, if you go over to this middle of the area, I'm sure it will be uncovered and you'll see what it is. But right now, it's kind of an uncertainty. So it's a cool design. And while that's, you know, well and fun, but anyone who plays even a slight amount of video games would be able to come up with stuff like that. Nothing too crazy, but I still appreciate it nonetheless. What they ended up doing with Len and the train car, this is what I love. So this isn't a glitch, it's not like breaking a game or anything. Like, this is all using mechanics that have either been established in the previous season or they've come up with on the fly. So there's this train yard that is, it's very, like, to get there, you're basically, you are the fish and that is the barrel. Like, it's just not gonna work out well unless you're Speedy Gonzalez like Lennon can run around. The animation, and trust me, we're gonna talk about the animation because that shit was beautifully produced. But I love the idea that what they ended up doing here was while she's kind of distracting everyone, they're sitting in the middle of this train cart. Like, it's open on the top and they're just sitting in there. So all the people approach and they just start blasting. I thought the plan was going to be something simple, like, hey, we make them waste all ammo, we pop up and we shoot them. All's well that ends well. So much better. So what ends up happening, and I was very confused at first. I thought it was going to be something like only certain types of ammo could do it, because they start shooting and hitting all of these people, but every time they were doing it, they weren't getting hit. So I'm thinking, okay, it has to either be a glitch, or it's going to be something similar to, like, maybe the ammo type they were using wasn't, like, it's too large to pass through. Like, I was thinking it was going to be some sort of exploit or something like that, which would really rile up the crowd for the people who maybe aren't the biggest fans of them. But the idea that what they ended up doing was they used basically the Kirito lightsaber, which I do think I remember this from Season 1, where you can penetrate things that are basically impenetrable by normal bullets, and they had little peepholes. And it makes sense too, because when they started firing, they had like shields up that it was interesting, because like if the whole train cart's like impenetrable, what's like, why would they have to do that? They could just sit by and no. But if you have small holes that they can't see from the outside, it makes it look like to them that nothing can fire outwards and nothing can fire in. You drop that, you pop your barrels out, and it's quite literally they are the fish and that is the barrel. That was such a brilliant big brain move, because I wasn't sure what they were gonna do. And the idea of going back, and this was something I did remember from Season 1, it may be a hot minute, but some of these things start coming back. The idea of the bullet pass and how when they launch a grenade, because you can't really just pop up and try to find them because you're just going to get shot in the head. So the idea of them launching a grenade, shotgunning it, blowing it up, and then of course our girl coming in and launching like 6 grenades back because now she knows the general trajectory. They eliminated probably like 30 or 40 people after having 7 to 8 teams gang up on them. Because, I mean, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Just brilliant tactics overall. And this is what I was talking about last week. This show understands the assignment. The SAO world and just the idea of playing a video game having such a well-polished and produced anime such as this, and just having people, it's like watching a Twitch stream, except we are the GoPro attached to their character models. And I mean, Len jumping and bouncing around really kind of sells why it's so exciting. I mean, people could argue it's more monkey brain take, but I mean, it's no different than watching sports. It really isn't. I mean, sure, you might have a personal connection to a player here and there, but at the end of the day, you're watching a sporting event, and esports are really no different. So the idea of watching a show where you're excited to follow your team, you're rooting on your team, and they're actually putting thought and tactics rather than just, I pop up and shoot. I pop up and it's like, no, there's actually strategy, and you feel like you're watching an esports anime. At least that's kind of how I feel. The production, like I said though, is fantastic. I truly believe the only reason we got season 2 of Gun Gale is because they have to wait for more SAO light novels to get ahead and stuff. Otherwise, they probably never would have produced this. Whatever their reasoning, I'm glad we got it nonetheless, because they put as much polish as they would to the main SAO anime. Watching the amount of 3D and 2D seamlessly blended, because when you have speedy characters running through an environment, often the environment's going to be 3D and you notice it. The train carts and the way she was running through was just handled so goddamn elegantly, and this is one of the best episodes in terms of production that I've seen. I think the only shows that can really compete so far would be the first episode of Uzumaki and some Dandadan stuff. But even then, like, this is some excellent animation. Like, her entire... The fact that it wasn't a 30-second montage either, it was a few minutes of her just bouncing around and just... There wasn't a single moment in this episode that I looked at and said, damn, you know, that's a really sloppy shot, or they could have done that better. The whole episode, man. They start off tame, escalate, calm down a bit, and then they just keep the momentum going. This was a good episode. Like, this is the most perfect episode of SAO you could ask for, because it reminds you of all the mechanics from Season 1, showcases some big brain moves in what they're able to do, and just really flex why, you know, it's so exciting to follow something that you may not necessarily have, like, an overarching story and stuff like that. And maybe you care about the characters a little more than I do at times, but at the end of the day, it's just... I feel like I'm watching sports. That's the best way to put it. At the end of the day, I'm not like, damn, I'm waiting for the crazy Pito development and all. Like, no, I'm waiting to see how they're going to use these tactics, and this episode absolutely delivered for me. Maybe some people think I'm not, you know, giving the praise it deserves, but I'm saying this is a 10 out of 10 episode, and I think it knows exactly what type of show this wants to be, and it rolls with it goddamn perfectly. Let me know what you thought, though, down below. What did you think? I know a lot of people last week are like, it's kind of a boring return. This episode should completely change your tune. If not, I'd be shocked. But thoughts down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around, of course, ring that bell. Like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Napoo, Gun Bunny, Dan Yang, True Obelisk, Sean, Yahir Sanchez, Big Devow, Adler 2704, and we also have Shazo Passon. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you'll have a good one.